Ready to go.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Bob Harris. A little excitement here as we go live with Myles Gaskin, placed on the reserve COVID list quite suddenly. Just moments ago, we found out about Gaskin. So, no Myles Gaskin. That leaves the Miami Dolphins without a lot of options at running back. That leaves them with Patrick Laird and DeAndre Washington, who came off the injury report this week. But also they promoted Elijah McGuire from the practice squad. I don't know how excited I am to play any of those fellows, but it might not matter how excited you are, right? You might find yourself in a bit of a pinch. So let me do a little bit more house cleaning here. And we'll get started with the questions. Let everyone join in. And hey, Alex, how are you? All right, so there we have it. So again, if you missed it, Myles Gaskin ruled out suddenly, placed on the reserve COVID list. So that's bad news. Christian McCaffrey listed as doubtful, won't play. Josh Jacobs seems like he's trending in a good direction. Antonio Gibson's out. DeAndre Swift should play. Wonder what kind of role he'll play. James Conner will return to the lineup. A few other items here. Jalen Hurts, of course, takes over as quarterback for Carson Wentz. We have Daniel Jones likely to play. I don't know if I mentioned that. And a late addition on the Monday injury reports out, and Austin Hooper is listed as questionable. Looks like he's heading for a game time decision. So no shortage of issues as always. Gotta love that, right? And I see the questions are coming in, so we'll get started here. Brady or Hill? It kind of. I don't know that is DeAndre Washington a real play. I mean, he's one of 2-3 healthy running backs there right now. So how real you think that is on you. I think he's going to have some workload. I'm a little worried about the hamstring injury that he's coming off of, but he is off the injury report. So there's that. Brady or Hill kind of depends on what you want. If you want a high floor, Taysom Hill has proven to have a very high floor, and he showed he could throw the ball last week. I'm playing Brady because I want the upside. Any updates on Crowder? No, none today other than him being questionable. Just checking the news coming in. All right, let's go to the YouTube. Hi, YouTubers. I'm here. Would you start Washington over Swift? I don't know that I would. I don't know if either of them are going to have complete roles. You might want to hang out and check the website overnight, early in the morning. If you don't know, it's footballdiehards.com. If you're not a subscriber, use the free trial, footballdiehards.com/free trial, and we'll try to get some overnight information. I would say right now what you know is DeAndre Washington is one of 3 healthy backs for the Miami Dolphins. DeAndre Swift is one semi-healthy back. He's listed as questionable, right? Maybe the decision is made for you. So, in a vacuum, I would probably play Swift over Washington. We aren't living in a vacuum, so there's a lot of information that goes with it. You want to watch for that overnight. But to answer the basic question, yeah, I'm playing Swift. Start 2, Patrick, Pittman, Curtis Samuel, PPR. I'm starting Patrick. Did you want to start 2? Patrick. I'm probably playing Patrick and Samuel. Look, I think Pittman is the top receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, and I think on any given week, that means he'll have the most catches. But it's hard to predict. It seems like how their backfield was a month ago, their receiving core is now, and T.Y. Hilton's kind of come on. I don't know that I expect T.Y. Hilton to be good every single week, but, I think that receiving core is hard to divine. Phillip Rivers is truly going to the open man. Hi, Dollar Rhyme. Ranking on the side are close on some of the guys, and Optimizer loves Pittman. Yeah, I get it. It's a pretty good matchup for him, right, against the Raiders, so I'm good with that if that's what your choice is. Hunt, Connor, Sanders, Deontay, Debo, Pittman. One running back, one flex, one wide receiver. So I'm going to probably play Connor. I'm going to, and, look, Hunt seems like a reasonable play most weeks. I'm not on him as much this week. Sanders, it's a really tough matchup, and he's only been getting about half of the snaps. I think Connor at least gets the workload. Marquise Pouncey back maybe helps. I'd also go Deontay. I know that's putting a lot of eggs in one basket. And I'd probably still flex Sanders. I'm not as in on Pittman. I think Debo's individual matchup is a little tough, too. Washington football team's pretty good on defense. With the Gaskin news, Deshaun Watson, Peyton Barber, Adrian Peterson, Tony Pollard, Hayden Hurst. Needs a running back and a flex. I mean, as things stand right now, Peyton Barber has the safest workload. If I found out tomorrow that DeAndre Swift or Ezekiel Elliott were out, they would go into that spot. I'm not excited about Peyton Barber either. I will just say that. And I'd probably play Hayden Hurst in the flex. Colts or Panthers D? Colts D. Sanders or Gio, trust either? No. Trust neither. Probably slightly into Gio because of the matchup. Patrick Laird is not the only back in Miami, Scott. It's DeAndre Washington, and they promoted Elijah McGuire from the practice squad. Chark or QT? I'm playing QT if he's healthy. Need 2 in a non-PPR. Gio, Mostert, or QT. Or Gallop, Gio, Mostert, or QT. I'm playing the running backs. I need a flex. Swift, Chark, Crowder, or Pittman. Well, probably Swift if he's playing. If not, I'd probably times of the games might be an issue. I mean, I'd be fine playing Crowder. You need to make sure he's going to play in his late afternoon kickoff. Is the Colts also late afternoon kickoff? The Colts are a late afternoon kickoff. So you could pivot then. Yeah, so pivot to Pittman. So if you don't want to play Crowder, you can play Pittman. Or if you can't play Crowder, you can play Pittman. So that would be the direction to take. Thoughts on Gio versus Dallas this week? It's a great matchup. He's been a very uninspiring play. I'm not an enthusiastic endorser, but I do think the matchup has some merit, and he'll give you a little bit of passing run. Kyler Murray or Taysom Hill? I'm probably playing Kyler Murray and hoping for some upside, but it's a tough matchup. If you felt Taysom Hill was the better call, it's not so close that it's crazy to make that pick. Defenses are always tough. Okay. Paul DeSantis, defenses are always tough, but in the playoffs, it always matters. I have Pittsburgh could pivot to Carolina or KC. What you thinking? I'm fine playing Pittsburgh, number one. I mean, it seems like getting a lot of Carolina questions. I'm not big on them, but I suppose, you're playing the Denver Broncos, and Drew Lock has not been taking care of the football very well. If that's your hunch, I'm fine with it. Hi, Kevin. Made the playoffs in 12-16 leagues. Good job. First round buying 4. Can use help to get championship best QB this week. Taysom Hill or Big Ben? Look, I think Taysom Hill has a great floor. I mean, it kind of depends on what you want, right? If you need a little upside, Big Ben's your play. If you just need a guy to, get you a solid floor, Taysom Hill has proven to be that, right? Because of the mobility. I think that's always the thing I'm looking for. If a quarterback has that rushing equity, I'm on that. And I think he does. So I think that's a fair point. Big Ben is not like an impossible matchup. So, I mean, let's just check my rankings and see what the projections say. Yeah, we have them 11 and 12, honestly. So it's Hill one ahead of him. So that would be the direction I go. That guy did not. I don't know if that guy got his UPS. It was FedEx truck. And yes, I'm glad you're listening. It was a crazy night that night. A FedEx truck was stolen in front of my house in a residential area. Craziness, right? So get back, Kevin. Taysom Hill, slight edge over Ben. If you needed the upside, I think maybe Ben would be the better play, but Hill's got that high floor. Watson or Herbert? I'm playing Herbert. Brandon Neely. Hi, Brandon. And thank you, Andrea. Nice to see you. Allen or Herbert? Boy, it's a tough matchup for Allen. I'm probably still leaning Allen in that one. I mean, you're talking about two top, 5 guys, I think, right now. So, I mean, again, some of these decisions are yours, people. I'm probably playing. Our projections say Herbert over Allen. It is a great matchup for Herbert. I've been playing Allen an awful lot, and I'd probably continue rolling with him myself. But both in the top 10. The projections say Herbert is the better play, so I'll go with that. Flex in a PPR. Swift, Boyd, Hilton, or QT. Probably go Swift if he's playing. If he's not active, I might wait and to see on QT. And if QT is not, I'd probably go Hilton. It's a great matchup for Boyd. I'm just uninspired by the quarterback. He's probably the safest play of all those guys, though. Right? So there's that. Hi, Rick. Jamison Crowder, Chris Godwin. I'm playing, or James Conner or Chris Godwin. I'm playing Conner. I do like Godwin, though. I mean, I think that's pretty close for first law of flexology, feature back over a wide receiver. I think Conner gets feature treatment this week, but we all know it has not been fantastic, right? So, I mean, it's not a crazy play to go Godwin if that's your instinct, because it's a really good matchup there. Would I start Perriman over Tim Patrick? I would not. T-Max. Kevin O'Brien, best running back, 2 PPR. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, best 2 running backs. Best running back 2 in a PPR. Hey. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mostert, or Dobbins. I still think Mostert is the best back. I'm not sure Kyle Shanahan agrees with me. But that's probably the play I'd make. I'd probably go Mostert. Hector, hi Hector, how are you? Half-point PPR. Need a 1 running back, 1 flex. Swift, Miles Sanders, T.Y. Hilton, and Mike Williams. I don't have the guts to start Akers. Man, painful. Look, it's not all, that was a tough call too, but it seems like that one's heading in a direction, and we'll know that going forward. I'd probably play I'd probably play Sanders and Mike Williams in that one. All right, Andrea needs a flex. Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Juju. I'm playing Jonathan Taylor all day long. Okay, let me see if I can catch up on the Periscope. There are more questions than there are me today, people, so be patient. I'll get to you. Gallop or Debo? I'm probably playing Debo in that one. And again, Gallup's a great matchup, and he's coming off a great week. I thought Andy Dalton played fine. And in addition, William Jackson will be on Amari Cooper. So, CeeDee Lamb's also in the mix, Dalton Schultz. They should be able to run the ball. So I don't have faith in the, in any of the Cowboys receivers on any given week. I think it could be any of them. It's kind of like the Indianapolis receiving core to me. It's going to be, different every week. But and Debo's matchup is tough. So if you have a hunch on Gallup, it's not so crazy to play him. I'm playing Debo. Hurst, Jonnu Smith, Dalton, or Schultz. Hurst, Jonnu Smith. I'm probably playing Hurst in that one. Joseph, thank you. Colts or Cowboys defense, I'm playing Colts. I know I usually pick on the easiest quarterbacks. Probably not in this case. Need 2. Sanders, Connor, Gallman, Jonathan Taylor. Taylor and Gallman for me. And that's pretty easy. No, that is not an Ibanez. I have a Yamaha and a Jackson. The Yamaha looks like an Ibanez, and it's got a Floyd Rose tremolo, and I love it. It's a outstanding guitar. Very old. Okay. Deontay Johnson or Calvin Ridley, PPR. I don't like Ridley's matchup, but I'd probably still play him over Deontay Johnson, who's been dropping a lot of passes, and look, he needs to get back on track. Mike Tomlin basically said, we're gonna if guys aren't catching the ball, we're gonna throw the ball to other guys. So a little bit of a concern there. I think he's been really good on the whole this year, but he does have a lot of drops. So I'd probably get Ridley. Just know that it's a tough matchup. Debo, Claypool, or Duke Johnson. I'm probably playing. Man, I feel like I'm an anti-Duke person here because I'm just not a big fan of his. He does very little, and they don't seem to throw him the ball much. And Chicago's defense was not great last week, but I think they get back in line this week. I'm probably playing Claypool in that one. Jamal Williams, Antonio Brown, or T. Higgins needs 1. I'm probably playing Jamal Williams in that one. It's pretty close with Antonio Brown, though. Higgins, I think it would be easy play if he wasn't questionable. And, so even if he plays, I'm a little worried. Is he full speed? Colts or Cowboys? I'm playing the Colts. You're welcome. 12-team standard. Trubisky, Dalton, or Bridgewater. Opponent has Rodgers. Wow. I just want to double check the projection. I'm probably playing Trubisky in that one. I mean, the matchup, He's been, reasonably productive. I had to double check. I am correct. All right, I'm going to have to get the hell out of the Periscope for a minute, get back to the YouTube. Look, if you're on Periscope, go to YouTube. Ask me questions there. It would be fantastic. And if you're on the YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. It helps us out with the algorithm. And if you like what you're getting here, go to the website. It's footballdiehards.com. We have a lot of great content there. In fact, every question I've been asked here is answered there in advance of you asking it. So there's that. If you don't like to wait around or I'm not answering your questions fast enough, footballdiehards.com/free trial. How much does the loss of Julio Jones hurt Matt Ryan? I think it does hurt. And I think it hurts Calvin Ridley a little bit because it makes it a little easier to focus on Ridley, right? And they got Casey Hayward, got a couple corners there that are really good. And yes, I would start Taysom Hill over Matt Ryan myself. Trouble choosing tight ends: Goddard, Gesicki, Hurst, or Akins. So Goddard worries me a little bit because of that. The matchup is horrible. If you go read my DFS 3 and out column, you'll see all the numbers. They're not great for tight ends playing against the Saints. And Hurts, I'm with you. It's got Hurts got a lot of love from Hurts, but it's Hurts going against the New Orleans defense in general in his first start. That worries me a little bit, right? So there's that. Of this group, I'm probably playing Hurst. Gesicki showed up last week. He doesn't show up every week. I think he has some exciting upside in this game as well. So it'd be between Gesicki and Hurst for me on that one. And let's see what the projections say just for giggles. Yeah, the projections like Gesicki a little better. So I'll go with that. It's close enough for me. Do you think Kevin O'Brien wants to know, do you think Gabriel Davis has a good chance to score this week? Get long catches, Pittsburgh defense focusing on Diggs. I'm not going that far. I think he has a chance to score this week because he scores a lot of weeks, but this is going to be a tough matchup. It'll be a real challenge for the Bills, but they are pass first, and there is also Cole Beasley capable of throwing him touchdowns. So, I'd like to give you the answer you want, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Jacobs, Gio, Gurley, Washington, or Beasley. Keegan McLean wants 2 of those in a PPR. So I was told last night that Jacobs should get his full role, that they knew he was going to play on Tuesday. We didn't know that, but they apparently knew that. So based on that belief, I would probably play Jacobs, and I would probably play Gio. I do like Beasley an awful lot every week, but it's a tough matchup for him. I'm guessing there's a lot of Washingtons out there, Keegan. So is it DeAndre? Is it the James Washington? So I'm assuming it's DeAndre. So I just don't have a good feel for what his role will be. That news just came out. Maybe we'll hear something. And again, a lot of these things that, a lot of the questions that we're answering, right now, the information will change overnight. So go to the website early in the day. Tomorrow, footballdiehards.com. We'll have all that information up. I'll have everything up overnight that comes out from all the national insiders in one place for you to take a quick look. I'll also be on the pregame show tomorrow, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Jeff Manns, and we'll get a lot of information in there, talk to a lot of the beat writers involved with this. So check with all that. Also watch the Football Diehards pregame video with Emil Cadlick and Jason Brady. You'll get all the ownership information that you want to have on DFS end of things, and they'll talk lineups as well, and some of these injuries that will come up. And so, basically what I try to do when I'm here is answer your question. And I'm assuming when you ask me a question about someone who's hurt, they're hurt and you're taking that into account. So I'll try to mention it, but also I'll try to answer your question. Dobbins or Jacobs, assuming he's active, I'd go Jacobs if he's active. And then you can always pivot to Dobbins if he's not. But Vic Tafer from The Athletic is who I talked to last night, and he sounded really confident. Covers the team on a daily basis, obviously. Sounds really confident in Jacobs having a full role. I'm not as confident. I'm still worried about what Gruden said early in the week, but if he's active, I think I'd play him. And the Colts defense hasn't been as tough, the last couple weeks as they were prior to that. Standard league. Flex Debo, Claypool, or Duke Johnson. Probably in a standard league, I'd go Claypool. Can we trust CEH this week? I would be fine playing Gallman or Davis over him. I'll be honest with you. I do think we can trust him a little more this week. I mean, I do think he'll play and go back to his normal role. But what has that been? It's not been impressive, right? I mean, they're a pass-first offense, and he seems to not be like a major part of the plan, and he's not great at the goal line. Let's see. Needs 2 here, just for Jay. A.J. Brown, Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Taylor, or Miles Sanders. What if I told you to sit like A.J. Brown? I don't know, man. I'm playing Jonathan Taylor and A.J. Brown. Those are the guys I'm playing. Bucks or football team defense? I'm probably playing the football team defense. Crazy to play DeAndre Washington over Pittman in half point? No, not crazy. Just don't, as fantasy managers, we tend to strike. We tend to be really aggressive, right? And we see an opportunity arise, and we chase that opportunity. I personally think DeAndre Washington is the guy that's going to be pretty busy. But there's Patrick Laird, and who knows what Elijah McGuire is the wild card they promoted from the practice squad. And a little bit worried about, not overly. The Dolphins clearly aren't, about his hamstring, which, kept him out for a week. He came in, played, made it through half a game, and then couldn't play for a week. Then, he's off the injury report this week. So, but I'm not keen on Pittman, man. I don't trust that guy. So, not crazy. Gio. I think Gio has a great matchup. I think he'll, it just hasn't been great for him, right? It's not been impressive. And maybe it's a case of our expectations being too high for him. But I think he should be a solid, even if low-end, running back 2 this week. And upside if he has touchdown. Higher floor, Juju or Sanders, which would you flex? I think Sanders has like a reasonable floor, more so than Juju. I don't know if he's hit over 40 yards for a while. So I'm probably going Sanders. But keep in mind, Buddy Peterson, that Sanders, it has not been going great in terms of snap counts. He's been, it's been diminishing each week, and he's going against the Saints, the number 1 defense. Think he has the higher floor, just don't know if you get much upside. And I think Juju has a little more upside, at least in terms of touchdown possibilities. All right, YouTubers. And hey, thanks everyone for coming. It's been an enjoyable season. We've got a few more weeks to go, but it's really been fun interacting with you. And I hope it's been helpful for you. And we'll intend to do this again next season as well. This is a really good way for me to do this, better than just answering individual questions on Twitter, is getting it all done at once. All right, so I got Keegan. So Paul DeSantis, Debo or Curtis Samuel? Probably playing Debo in that one. I know there's no DJ Moore, so maybe that gives Curtis Samuel a little additional run and some chances to make plays, So, and Debo has a tough matchup. I just think between he and Ayuk, that's the bulk of the offense there right now. It's hard to count on the running back. So, and I like Ayuk more than Debo, but I'd probably lean his way. Jesse, 1 point PPR, Dio Juke, I'm probably going Davis in that one. Mark, I'm not going to butcher your last name, Mark. You probably get that enough. Best defense, Washington, SF, Dallas, Houston, or Cincinnati. So I generally pick on the worst quarterback. So that would mean Dallas, picking on Brandon Allen. Dallas is not a good enough defense for me to play. Maybe, for a DFS flyer, if I have like a nickel left or something, I'm going to play Washington. I'm going to play the football team's defense. Alex. Jennifer. I'm sorry. I almost missed you, Jennifer. Half-point PPR need 2. Michael Ridley, Michael Thomas, or Justin Jefferson. Need 2. Austin Eckler, David Montgomery, Chris Carson, Jonathan. God dang, man. Of all those running backs, I think Carson's probably at the bottom of my list. That's like, 4 running back ones. I love David Montgomery's matchup. Eckler, I think, is a solid play in PPR every single week. Jonathan Taylor, I love this week. If you don't trust Jonathan Taylor's role, then go to Carson there. And that would be, so I would rank them basically Eckler, Montgomery, Taylor, Carson, Taylor for me. But if you're a little concerned, maybe Carson's workload isn't great enough for you, it's so close between he and Taylor. I hate to sit any of these guys. I guess that's where I'm at. That's why I'm vacillating here. I like them in the order you list them. And I like the receivers not in the order you list them. I'd probably play Thomas and Jefferson over Ridley this week. Look, Ridley's great. It's just a tougher matchup, for me. Superflex League for Alex Herbert. These are some tough questions. I know we're heading into the playoffs, so they're only going to get tougher. Next week is going to be crazy. Can play Matty Ice, Baker, Dalton, and Taysom Hill. You have Kamara and Cook as starting running backs. Only play 2 RBs. Do I play Hill and Kamara together or sit Kamara for D. Montgomery or Taylor? Man, as much as I love David Montgomery this week, it's pretty close between him and Kamara. I mean, if you want to split things up, I mean, is Kamara really must-play running back 1, or has he been with Taysom Hill? Probably no. And of those quarterbacks, Taysom Hill's the one I'd want to play. So there you have that. So playing Hill wouldn't keep me from playing Kamara. I just think the fact that you have 2 really great options, well, at least one fantastic option. I mean, David Montgomery has 100 yards from scrimmage in each of his games back. He's going against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. He also catches some passes. I could go there easily. And nobody to cut into his workload, right? I think that's the big thing. Just checking there's some news coming in, making sure it's not news we need to talk about. All right, Kevin O'Brien. I hope that helped, Alex. Best PPR, Debo Samuel, Claypool, Hunt, QT. Boy, I like QT's role if he's there, not keen on his matchup. I'm a little down on Kareem Hunt. I think it's going to take something happening, an issue with Nick Chubb to, keep Chubb from being the primary weapon. And Hunt just seems to have fallen off the radar a little bit. Of those options in the flex, have to check the projections there. Also, you can check these projections. Go to footballdiehards.com/free trial. We have the FSP staff cheat sheet, which has flex rankings. You could probably read my rankings as easily as I could read them to you. Just a thought. And it's free. And if you like it and you want to buy it, you can use the promo code Diehards to get a 15% discount. It looks like the algorithms like Hunt better than those other fellows. I kind of get that, so I'll go with that. I'm going to play Gesicki over Jonnu Smith. I would play a quarterback, Alex. And Jennifer, I'd play Gesicki. Let me see if I can catch up on the Periscope here. Amari Cooper or Corey Davis. I'm playing Corey Davis all day. I love Corey Davis. If you go to the website, footballdiehards.com/free trial, read my DFS 3 and out. I go into a great depth, but Davis is on a roll. It's a fantastic matchup. Amari Cooper, while the Bengals in general are horrible, William Jackson III is like the only non-horrible piece there. So there's that. And that's who will be guarding Cooper almost certainly. So Perry Marson, 0.5 PPR, Devontae Parker, Chark, or Marvin Jones. I'm going to probably play Marvin Jones and Parker. It seems like Glennon's connection is with the guys he worked with, on the second team, and that's Colin Johnson mostly, and they were running a hell of a lot. And you could see last week, and maybe it improves this week, but just, they were just missing Chark and Glennon. Maybe that's because they haven't spent as much practice time together. So a little hunchy there. Not huge on Parker this week, but a little huger than I am on Chark. Kevin O'Brien, best QBs this week. Oh, okay. Pick 2 of these. Taylor Montgomery. Miles Sanders sits there, Steve, for me. Going against the number 1 defense in the NFL. Diminishing snap counts. And I like Taylor. Look, if you feel like Taylor, that's like a mirage. I feel like Taylor's in the same place Cam Akers was, right? Just on that just starting to establish himself as the featured guy. And I think we've seen it the last 2 games. I talked to George Bremer from the Anderson Herald Bolton, covers that team on a daily basis. He agrees with me that Taylor is finally establishing himself. So if you don't believe that, I think Sanders, is an okay play. I'm not high on him this week given the matchup. David Montgomery, though, is the easy call there. Kevin O'Brien, best quarterback this week, Stafford or Phillips? Phillip Rivers? Would you play either one over Kyler Murray? I would not. Although Stafford is going to have to play catch-up, right? And he's been throwing the ball deep. If you were really anti-Kyler Murray, and it's a tough matchup for him, and he hasn't been running, I get it, all those things. I could see playing Stafford if that was that would be the direction I go. Rivers has been good as well, and I'm guessing that's who you mean there with Phillips. So, I probably wouldn't be forcing either of them in. I mean, Murray was okay last week, right? Even without running. So this is a tough matchup, though, this week. So I get the interest. So for me, if you didn't want to go Murray, it'd be Stafford first in a game where he's likely, they're likely going to have to be playing keep up. So that's the direction I go. Jennifer, Panthers defense versus Denver or Colts versus Las Vegas. I'm probably sticking with the Colts, but I kind of get it. I'm getting a lot of question about the Panthers, so clearly there's a lot of interest, and I get it. You want to pick on Drew Lock. Drew Lock has been easy to pick on, so wouldn't talk you out of that. I'd go Colts. Wouldn't talk you out of Panthers. 0.5 PPR, 2 of these for Steve Lindor. I'm playing Jefferson and I'm playing Ridley. And thank you for coming every day. I appreciate your visits every time and the questions. Do you have any spidey sense as the best Miami running back? My spidey sense is, I'm leaning DeAndre Washington, but we're all kind of flying blind here just because he seems more like a better early down choice than Patrick Laird. That's basically our perception of Patrick Laird is more of a receiving back and not a great one at that, or apparently not a great one according to the Dolphins because they don't play him very much. So it seems like every time he's had an opportunity to shine, somebody steps in front of him and takes his opportunity. I would say Washington for me. And Elijah McGuire is not a nobody who they elevated from the practice squad. But for me, I would go in that order. I would go Washington, Laird, and McGuire without knowing, flying blind, Spidey sense style. And I'd be watching overnight. I will be looking closely for information from local observers, national observers, and see if we can sort out what their impressions are of this. Miss Kylie Mack. Miss Kylie Mack, excuse me. Takes me a second to read. Need one flex in a standard. Landry, Marvin Jones Jr., Boyd, Hilton, or QT. I'm probably leading Marvin Jones there. Is there any Dolphins running backs that are worth picking up off waivers because Ahmed and Gaskin are out? I think we just ran through that. Maybe you caught that, but I kind of ranked them how I like them. And like is maybe too strong of a word, how I would roll with them if I had to play them. I'd be looking at a variety of options, but in part because, like the previous question, what's my spidey sense? That question is very good because that's what we have right now. Is our spidey sense. We don't have a good feel. This is a sudden development. Maybe more information will come to light, and you should be visiting the footballdiehards.com website for more on that. I will be looking for more all night long and right up through tomorrow's kickoff. So check back and also listen to the pregame show on Sirius. By the way, I'll be on Sirius tonight from 8 p.m. to 11 on both NFL radio and SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Simulcast. You can call in, ask us questions there as well. We do a lot of questions. Jake Seeley will be on with us tonight from The Athletic. He will take questions too. I think our game is the Pittsburgh-Buffalo game, so we'll be talking to beat writers from there. Also, watch the pregame video with Emil and Jason Brady tomorrow morning on the Football Diehards website at 10 a.m. Eastern. And also, go look at the website, footballdiehards.com/free trial. Subscribe to this channel, by the way, the YouTube channel, so you get the notifications and stuff. Like the video if you would, and share it if you'd like. I know nobody likes to share inside information. I don't have inside information, just information. Shouldn't say it like that. Mostert or Gio? Big Bill, I think this is a very hard call because obviously Kyle Shanahan does not love Raheem Mostert as much as I do. I think Raheem Mostert looks like he's been the best back. I was surprised at how much Jeff Wilson is able to do when he comes in, and apparently I shouldn't be because Kyle Shanahan will Shanahan us our ass if we stick with one guy. So probably Gio is the safer play right now. I don't see Samaje Perine cutting into his workload. It's a great matchup. I think Mostert is by far the better player. If I knew for sure he was getting the workload. And it's funny, we talked about the radio show. We have beat writers on all the time, often having them from San Francisco. The later in the season it gets, the less willing they are to predict who the running back will be any given week. They're reluctant because they know they're going to be shenanigans. That's almost a word. Perry Marson, half-point PPR, Josh Jacobs, Mostert, Gio, McKissick, pick 2. I wouldn't talk you out of McKissick and Gio, right, in a half-point or a PPR. I mean, it's relative, so I think a PPR is PPR. McKissick's been great. I myself would probably go Jacobs and McKissick, but not talking you out of that. I don't think that's a wrong answer that you have. I don't think that's a bad choice for you, by you, or for you, because you made it. So obviously it's a good choice for you, by you. There I go. All right. Did I get this one, Steve? Yes, I got that one. Dave Gladstone, do you have any spicy? Oh, got that one. All right, I got to scroll down. There's a lot of questions. Okay, I got that. Thank you, Andrea. Mark Spafford, would I play Kiki QT or Marvin Jones? I'd probably lean Marvin Jones. I think Kiki QT is going to play, right? Because he practiced fully the last 2 days, still listed as questionable. But honestly, I think I mentioned it when I was talking about Stafford. I think the Lions are going to have to be playing catch up. And one thing you notice, I have an article up about it. They're throwing the deep ball a little bit more than they have maybe, the change of coaches, whatever. Last game, they really went deep a lot more. And it was very effective. Maybe we'll see some more of that. Marvin Jones is a very good deep passer, and they're going to need to play keep up. Jonathan Treader, pick your wide receiver 3 and flex. Gallman and Ayuk for me. I wouldn't talk you out of Deontay Johnson. I talked about it earlier in case you just came in. This is kind of hunchy on my part. I normally Deontay Johnson would be locked in, right? But he's coming off a game with 3 drops. I know Big Ben is taking the blame for that. Mike Tomlin seemed very unforgiving and basically, talked about, look, if you're not catching the ball, we're going to throw it to guys who do. I don't know. Is he foreshadowing anything? Either way, Ayuk has been money every game he's been healthy, right? And he's healthy right now. So I'm probably playing that right now. Pretty tough matchup for him, though, so watch that. But Gallman's the easy play here for me. And beyond that, it's a really close call. I lean slightly Ayuk over Johnson. Goddard or Logan Thomas? Okay. So I don't want to be chasing Logan Thomas's points from last week. But, I don't think he's incapable of doing that again. But mostly I think you get a solid floor with him. With Goddard, I wrote about it again. Go to the footballdiehards.com website, footballdiehards.com. If you're not a subscriber, go to footballdiehards.com/free trial. My DFS 3 and out article, I go in depth in how horrible a matchup it is for Goddard. But a couple concerns. New quarterback. The Saints are the best defense in football. Also, they're really good at defending tight ends. All those things are why I'd probably lean Logan Thomas. Also, there's Zach Ertz there now. I hate him. Okay. I don't hate him. He's a nice guy, I'm sure. But I hate what he does to the Goddard shares. Kevin O'Brien, best flex, Michael Pittman and Lazard, Hunter Henry, Mike Gesicki. I probably wouldn't play any of them over Mostert myself, but I'd play Hunter Henry for sure as my flex. I feel like I'm anti-Michael Pittman, but I'm not. I just don't know what the hell he's going to do any given week. It's been dicey, right? He'll have a great week. And so, again, talked to George Bremer, local beat writer, last night. I asked him this very question. Is Pittman a trustworthy wide receiver 1? And he agreed with me there as well. And he thinks Jonathan Taylor's coming on. And he also thinks Michael Pittman. It's just going to be kind of a week-to-week thing. And this could be the week he comes up big. And if you want to bet on that, I would not blame you. I'm just not. Jonathan Taylor over Mostert for me. MJK 2288. Thank you for asking. Ryan Closest. Bears, Panthers, or Ravens defense? Panthers are a very popular question. I think it's not unwise to pick on Drew Lock. I think more so than the Ravens. I'd probably play the Ravens myself. I'd probably play them any week, but I think it's maybe going to be run heavy against them. I don't know what the weather is. If it's rainy, Baker won't throw it all. But I do think they're going to be run heavy either way. So I'd probably take a little chance on the Panthers there. Ravens, the logical play just is the better defense. Not sure they have the matchup that's ideal for them scoring points. Robbie Anderson over Marvin Jones for me, MJK 2288. And I know he doesn't score as many touchdowns as Marvin Jones, but he seems to really get a solid level of opportunities. And DJ Moore's gone, and I don't think the matchup is horrible. Jonathan Treader. PPR, pick 2, Curtis Samuel, Ayuk, Miles Sanders, and QT. I don't like Miles Sanders still. I would take him over most of these wide receivers, and I would play Ayuk over those other 2. So Sanders, Ayuk for me. And if you, if you want to bail on Sanders, I get it. I still think the workload's sufficient, that there's a decent floor there. But it's a tough matchup. His snap count's gone from like 77% down to just over 50%. So I understand the question. So if you felt really uncomfortable with that, I'd play QT over Samuel. And I'm assuming he's playing if you're worried about that. QT being questionable, I think he's going to play practice the last 2 days, but I just think, I don't know. So take all that into account and digest it and come, Sanders and Aiyuk for me. Yes, I know my answers are very convoluted. I just want to make sure you have all the facts, people. You need the information. That's really what I do, right? Information. Like everyone said, oh, you're a fantasy expert. No, I'm a fantasy professional. And my profession is making sure you have the information you need to be the expert, right? I don't care if I'm an expert. I want to make you the expert. So keep that in mind as I'm answering the questions and trying to give you this information. And, I know you want me to make picks for you, and I'll make those picks. But really, you're as good at this as I am. I'm just better. I'm just here to give you the information. So here we go. Perry Marson, so I think we did this one. We did that one. This one. Cam Sims or Braxton Barrios. I'd probably lean Cam Sims. If I knew for sure Jamison Crowder was out, I'd go Barrios. I don't know that Jamison Crowder is going to be out. In fact, I kind of leaning towards him being there. So I'd lean towards Cam Sims. It's going to be kind of hit or miss for him. If I knew for sure, maybe if you can watch and do this a late pickup, watch the website, footballdiehards.com overnight. I will have early, predictions from the national insiders talking to all their sources about what the odds are of the various questionable guys playing. And I should have something on Jamison Crowder in advance. If I thought he wasn't going to play, I'd want to play Barrios. Scott, thank you for asking. All right. Kevin O'Brien, best flex. I'd probably go Edwards-Helaire, but you're kind of playing mostly the workload, and I know the production hasn't been high end. I think if you feel fantastic about Aiyuk or Beasley, I would not talk you out of either of them. I love Aiyuk, maybe more than I should. That's why I try to dial back. Some of these things, like you guys, sometimes you ask me questions, and just not to go off tangent here, but I am. There are players I'm really keen on, right? Like maybe I love the matchup and I'm playing my hunches. I don't want you to play my hunches. I want you to play your hunches. Your hunches are always better than my hunches because you get to kick yourself in the ass when they go wrong on Monday, and I'm not there. So I'll try to give you the information of why I like them. My hunches are based on something. So, in the case of Aiyuk, they're based on the 4 or 5 games he's been since healthy. He's been rock solid. So there's that, but it's hunchy. And Cole Beasley, he's been fantastic as well. Just don't like the matchup as much. And Aiyuk's matchup is tough as well. So there's that. I feel like my answers are more confusing than your questions, which aren't really that confusing. I think my answers are more so. All right, Damian White. In the playoffs in a 2-quarterback league, one of my quarterbacks is Mahomes. That's good news. For the second, would you take a chance on Ryan without Julio and his or Hurts? I'd take my chances with Ryan. I don't know. I don't feel really comfortable. Maybe Hurts catches lightning in a bottle, kind of like he did coming off the bench. But I think the Saints will be prepared for him. Also, the Saints are really good. Run with Kamara or Taylor or Thielen this week. Run with Kamara or Taylor or Thielen. Only get one choice? If I only get one, I'm going Kamara. I love Thielen this week. If I could play him, I would. I love Taylor, too, this week. It's just not quite Kamara level because I think Kamara, you know what the role is. He hasn't been catching the ball as much, but still a high-powered offense, even with Taysom Hill. Probably playing that guy. But, man, get Thielen in your lineup. How can you not be playing him? How can this be a decision? Lucius Vorenas, 44. Help me with that. Does J.D. McKissick still need negative game script to be running back to a PPR? He does not. Pedro, hello. Great job as usual. Well, thank you. You're too kind. Wondering about Jacobs. Should I stick to McKissick as my flex instead of Jacobs? I'm starting Henry and Montgomery. I think McKissick is a very safe play there, right? And so I would not talk you out of that. Based on what I've heard from Vic Tafer of The Athletic, he thinks Jacobs is in better shape than John Gruden wanted us to think he is, and that he's going to play his full workload. The Colts defense hasn't been as tough the last 3-4 games as it was prior to that, but they're still pretty tough, right? So, look, I think you have you have some flexibility with Henry and Montgomery there. And so, So maybe what you want to do, what I often do, is go look at the projections, look at what my opponent has, where we're projected. If I just need a safe floor play, I think at a PPR, McKissick's a pretty safe floor play. Also, though, I think Josh Jacobs is a pretty damn good running back one when he's healthy. And that's the question. How healthy is he? And from what I was told, healthy enough to play a full workload. So that was Vic Tafer from The Athletic telling me that. Maybe you need to gauge your level of trust with him. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy and well-connected. All right, Kevin O'Brien, didn't we do this one? I think we did this one. I think I've scrolled back up somehow or something. Or are you asking again? Or is this a different question? I'm confused. Umberto, CEH or Dobbins in a half-point PPR flex, needed highest floor. I'm probably going with CEH there. Look, I think Dobbins is great, but he's one of, 4 running backs there, and I'm including Jeff Okuda will undergo surgery. Okay, I'm including Lamar Jackson because he's like the best running back there. And then Gus Edwards, to me, looked better than anybody of the real running backs there. But then Dobbins got the touchdown. I don't, do you want to bet on that? I'm probably, I'm going with the highest floor as my estimation would be CEH. I do like Dobbins, though. I mean, just as a player, I just don't know that in this circumstance I like him that much as CEH much. Even though CEH hasn't been as high-end as we thought. He's been solid. Siri's talking to me, and I don't know why. All right, Andrea needs one. Jared Cook, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz, Hayden Hurst. I'd probably play Dalton Schultz as a safe floor play. Jared Cook just hasn't been that big a part of the offense. I'd love to play him. Cole Kmet, he's been okay. It's a great matchup. I'll say this. I think Cole Kmet has clearly locked up the tight end 1 role there, right, in Chicago. He has clearly moved ahead of Jimmy Graham. So I wouldn't talk you out of him. I think Schultz is the safe play, right? So there's that. Best tight end this week, Ebron or Gronk? Gronk me. Umberto, Swift or Gaskin in a full point PPR. Umberto, you are here late. Gaskin's not playing. The decision's been made for you. And so what you're hoping is Swift plays. So I guess this is a newcomer who did not hear me talk for 3 minutes about how healthy Jacobs is or isn't. So, Penny Marson, you've been here the whole time. Oh, okay. So you knew. Yeah, what we're going on is he's listed as questionable. John Gruden was very, downplayed the notion he would play. Was pretty pessimistic on Monday, and then he didn't practice Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday he practiced on a limited basis. What Vic Tafer told me was he knew on Tuesday that Jacobs was going to play. So if the Raiders had a good feeling on Tuesday, and I'm guessing he heard this from people with the team, or he wouldn't have said it on the radio in front of God and everybody. So I'm guessing he's like healthy enough. And Tafer predicted like a 20-touch game or, usual role. So, but that's the thing. If, when I'm making these decisions for my fantasy roster, I'm looking at my options. I'm looking at the matchup, and I'm looking at, look, if I have options who are close and are healthy, I'm probably playing them. If my options are nowhere in the same league, I'm probably taking the risk and probably taking a chance with a guy. PPR, 2 different leagues, Robbie Anderson or Cooper, and Hunt or McKissick. I like Anderson over Cooper, and I like McKissick over Hunt in a PPR as a higher floor. I think Hunt, you need, some things to happen for him to deliver the high end. I'm not sure his floor's been that great lately. That's where I'm at. Alex Herbert, Diehards Dynasty. What is the secret to beating your partner in crime as this team this week? Send him golf balls. Can you hack it and change the lineup, or at least then do Mans and I will do a voodoo on his team tomorrow morning for sure. Good luck with that game, Alex. Dempsey always needs a good beating, and I'm always one to cheer that on. How do I feel about Fitzgerald if Kiki doesn't play tomorrow? I think if Kiki doesn't play tomorrow, that would maybe Pedro be a fair pivot. I don't know that anyone expects Fitzgerald to put in a full day, right? It's his first day back. He lost 9 pounds. And so I think, the role would be in question, but I do think he'll play. So assuming you don't have anyone more viable, I think Fitz is a warm body. 9 pounds lighter than he was last time we saw him, but still, probably gained some of that back. My feeling is Kiki will play, though. Practice fully the last 2 days. Best flex, full PPR, Kevin O'Brien wants to know. Curtis Samuel, T.Y. Hilton, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kiki QT. So for me, it would be, Helaire, right, for the reasons I've stated numerous times. I could make cases for all these other guys to have good games, right? I can make a much easier case for Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the workload, even coming off last week when he got none. Because of the illness, he's been practicing fully all week. So I think, I'm more trusting of that. If you're a little leery of it, and I was ranking the rest, it would be Kiki QT, and if he's not up, I would probably pivot to Hilton. Not anti-Curtis Samuel, just would pivot to Hilton. He seems to have a little momentum. Don't know that I trust it, but when I get down to that level, yes. When I'm down to my third permutation of a 4-person question, yes. Just lost Gaskin, Mostert to Ty Johnson. Here's the thing. If I knew there was no Frank Gore, I would be playing the hell out of Ty Johnson. So I think both of those are late afternoon kickoffs, right? Am I correct there? Let me double check. Jets, Seattle, yes. Washington, San Francisco, yes. So I'd wait and see, and I'd play Mostert if Gore is up. So there's that. All right. So, and good luck with that, Royal Slade. Kevin O'Brien, best 2, Cole Beasley, Ty Hilton. I feel like this is a permutation of every question you ask. I would probably rank them. So you got options there. So look, if QT's playing, it's a tough matchup, but I probably still want to play him just based on volume there. I think Cole Beasley's getting great volume. It's a tough matchup for him. So I'd probably rank them QT. Claypool is a little hit or miss, right? But I think, this is probably a good week for him. Denzel Ward's out. I mean, it's kind of a depleted secondary. As long as Ben can stay away from the pass rush, I think that's a good play. QT's probably at the top of this list if he's active for me, though. So Swift, Jacobs, DeAndre Washington are active. Who would you start? PPR need one. If all of them are active, I'm playing Jacobs. Best tight end in a PPR, Mark Andrews or Robert Tonyan? I'm going to play Mark Andrews. It's a really good matchup. He's fared well against the Browns in the past. Should have fresh legs after 2 weeks off, hoping the COVID did not have a big impact on him. Robert Tonyan also is a great play. Let me see what the projections are. I think the projections like Tonyan a little bit better in this one, I'll be honest with you. And so when I do this and I say I'm different from the projections, we're talking about guys in the same range, right? These are both top 10 plays. So our projections, and Detroit is a very good matchup, right? So they take all those things into account. Tonyan is ranked 4th. Andrews is ranked 8th. The Detroit defense is 32nd against the pass. Cleveland is 28th. So, I mean, if you have a preference there, if you feel like Tunyan's going to have a greater role, my worry with Tonyan is there are more targets there available to cut into his workload. He's still capable of scoring touchdowns, right? I get that. But for Andrews, there's not as many pieces. There's Marquise Brown. I know Miles, Boykin will show up, but maybe Willie Snead. But I think in the whole, it's kind of been him. It's been Andrews, and it's been Marquise Brown, with the other guy spiking up a little bit. I just played defense on waiver wire, picking up Washington and Bowden Jr. Smart move or not? Yeah, it's always smart move, Scott, to play defensive. If you have room on your roster, keep them other guys from getting guys that might get you. Hilton, Pittman, or Boyd need one. I think Boyd is the highest floor guy, even with, not the highest upside guy, because I don't think that, although he does have some upside in this matchup with Dallas, but that would be my choice. How are you? I'm fine, thank you, Scott. And do you think Larrett has a good role tomorrow for Miami? I mean, I think he has a good opportunity. I've never seen him have a good role there, right? It's been a couple of years, and there have been times before where we thought he was well-positioned to come in and do something, and he hasn't, and other guys have usurped that role because they're better. So, I think, honestly, I think he will have a role because I think they're down to the point where they don't have any choice. It's him, DeAndre Washington, and Elijah McGuire. But if I sat here at the end of tomorrow's games and Elijah McGuire was the best back in Miami, would I sit here and go, wow, that's stunning, I couldn't imagine that? No. I would say, Yeah, should have known. But I don't know. And honestly, I mean, I would say that about any of those guys, though. I just think it's really a bit of a crapshoot. Maybe we'll get more information in overnight. I will obviously be looking for it. So check the website, Scott. But that's kind of where I'm at now on it. I mean, it's a hard sell for me on any of these backs. All right, Kevin O'Brien. I feel like we've done all these. Maybe I'm wrong. Best flex, J.D. McKinnick, Hines, Kareem Hunt, T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Ayuk. I like J.D. McKissick for a high floor. If you want to try some upside, I mean, Hilton's not without upside, but it'd be Brandon Ayuk. Best tight end, Gesicki or Goddard. I prefer Gesicki in this one just because the Saints are very tough against tight ends. Like, very tough. Again, I will tell you one more time because I'm very nice like that. Go to the footballdiehards.com. If you're not a subscriber, go to footballdiehards.com/free trial. Look for my DFS tournament 3 and out article, and I go into great detail on my concerns for Dallas Goedert. You may or may not agree, and I'm not telling you you can't play anyone because I don't do that. I'm telling you I don't like Goddard this week for a lot of reasons. Who should I start at flex? CeeDee Lamb, Duke Johnson, T.Y. Hilton, or Marvin Jones? My gut feeling says Marvin Jones, but probably Duke Johnson is the smart play. I mean, look, so here's the thing. I make a lot of answers like off the cuff all day, every single day of my life, right? Or every single football season, whether I'm talking on the radio for a couple hours a day, whether I'm doing things like this. And I mean, a lot of it is just based on, I want opportunities, right? I think Duke Johnson's going to get opportunities. It's a fairly tough matchup. I know the Bears were horrible last week, but it's still a tough matchup. And Duke Johnson has not been great. I'd probably rather play one of the guys who has some upside. But if you're looking for a floor there, Clamped Eds, did I say that right? Clamped EZ, I'm sorry. I would play one of the higher upside guys. I think would be Marvin Jones in this case. I kind of feel like I'm anti-Duke Johnson. So if you're not, play Duke Johnson. If you are, Marvin's your guy. Maybe T.Y. Hilton. Rick, PPR Superflex in San Francisco spot. Play in SF. Oh, Superflex. I'm a little slow. Play Mullins versus Washington football team. Gio versus Dallas. I'm playing the quarterback. Playing the guy, again, talked about the opportunities. That guy has the ball in his hands every single snap. Like that guy, the quarterback. Is it worth dropping T. Higgins or Kurt DeSame to pick up DeAndre Washington? I would play Sanders and Connor over him. You're looking to catch a little lightning in a bottle, right? And this is something we do as fantasy. And look, if DeAndre Washington has the biggest game we've ever seen, you're going to be very upset that you didn't do it. But I mean, I don't think the odds are with you there. The odds are with you. To block opponent, yes. I don't think I'd play him either of those guys. And I'm not like super high on those other guys. Like Sanders, I think is the lead back in a team that's got now a 3-way split and a really tough matchup. So it's not like I'm looking to shoehorn him into lineups, and I would still play him over whichever Miami running back I was able to get a hold of. Kevin O'Brien, full PPR, best flex, Jacobs, Gallman, or Terry McLaurin. Gallman is the safest flex. I'd probably play Jacobs myself. Dave Gladstone, tell me about something that no one knows about your cats. Ming does not have all his teeth. And he has huge claws. He's a very big cat. It's like 30 pounds. And his claws are about 20 pounds of that. No, I'm lying there. But he's very large. But everyone knows that. Very large claws. That's what everyone doesn't know. I have the scars to prove it. All right, let me look at the Periscope real quick. Got a little time left, people. I'm not running off. We'll start wrapping it up here soon. It's 2020. That would figure right. I mean, that's honestly, and it's the running back position. And as much as you want to go with this true and tried guys. I mean, we've all seen guys. Ty Johnson last week, and look no further. Right, opportunity matters at running back almost as much as anything. And, all these guys that make it to the NFL level are pretty talented. And if given good opportunities, a lot of them can excel. So, if you're in a bad position at running back and you need to force some of these guys in your lineup, I get it. I'm not like forcing them in, though. I think that's where we're kind of like working it out there is I'm looking at my more reliable options before I play the hunchier plays. All right, we'll kind of wrap this up. So Jennifer wants to know, so if I start Justin Jefferson, Michael Thomas, David Montgomery, and Eckler, you like Jonathan Taylor or Carson over Ridley? I like both of them over Ridley, and I probably like Carson slightly more than I like Taylor. Let's see what the algorithm thinks. Also, if you're wondering why I keep talking about this algorithm and what it knows that I don't, it knows a lot of things that I don't. It's very smart. It's also what we use to do the rankings of Football Diehards. We adjust them, as we go through. We let the algorithm set it, and then we go through and adjust it. The algorithm also likes him slightly better. And when I say slightly, the algorithm says 10 and for Carson and 12 for Taylor among all running backs. That takes into account their matchups, their recent production, their workloads, all those things. And Taylor obviously has a better matchup. I still like Carson slightly more because I'm a little more trusting of the workload. I think Taylor's coming on, but that's me thinking it. I mean, just like I thought Cam Akers was coming on. Oh, look, I was right that time. I think I'm right about Taylor too, but I know I know what Carson's role is. Steve, you're late to the party, man. We've had this conversation a couple 20 times. But yeah, I would play DeAndre Washington depending on my choices. Of the three remaining Miami backs, he's the one I like the best. And that's just me playing, and that's my hunch, right? Kind of my gut feeling. Again, if your league depends on this, I would recommend coming back to footballdiehards.com. If you're not a subscriber, go to footballdiehards.com/free trial. Check early Sunday morning. I will start putting up stuff at about midnight tonight, Eastern time, that will be up overnight that will kind of, fill in some of the holes that we don't know, hopefully. So be sure to check that. Also, if you're a Sirius subscriber, listen to the SiriusXM Fantasy pregame show with myself and Jeff Mans. We will talk about a lot of these things tomorrow. Thank you, Brian M. I got one right. All right, Kevin O'Brien. Swift or Beasley? Swift, if he plays, I think is probably a good play. I wouldn't argue that Beasley is not the safer play based on what we know right now. I don't know what role Swift is going to have coming in, right? And I don't know that they know, they being the Detroit Lions. Here's the argument Tim Twentyman made from the team's website. So last week, Darrell Bevell said he didn't think Swift would come back to a full workload, that they would limit him, ramp him up. He used those same words this week. Tim Twentyman, though, thinks that ramping up is a different thing coming off 2 weeks of practice than it was coming off 1 week of practice. I think that's fairly logical. So there you have it. I mean, I think Beasley probably the safer play, and maybe the decision will be made for you, but if it's not, it's a hard decision. My personal thing is I'm leaning a running back that I think is getting a full workload over a wide receiver every time. I don't know that Swift's getting a full workload, so it's a pretty close call. Beasley's been phenomenal, but we all know what happens to wide receivers. They can show up or not. So all things being equal, if Swift is active, I'd probably lean that way. Need one PPR, T. Higgins, Crowder. So I want to play Crowder if he's active, but I think all these other ones are early kicks, right? And I don't want to play Goddard. Hey, it's a tough one. You probably need to play Gallop because I don't think you have a late afternoon pivot, and I don't know that. I don't know that Goddard's going to play or that Crowder's going to play. Carson, Sanders, and a Miami back 2 of 3. Carson and Sanders. Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of those. But definitely Carson and Sanders. All right. We're almost getting to the tail end here. I appreciate everyone coming. I appreciate all the questions. I will try to get through the last of these on YouTube as fast as I can so I can get out here and get back to work. You guys need news. Go to the website, footballdiehards.com/free trial. If you're not a subscriber, just go to the website if you're a subscriber. You know what's going on. I'm putting up tons of articles every day, every single day, a constant stream of news updates to keep you on top of all the latest news and information so you can make the best decisions possible. That's what we're all about. Tons of other content there as well, including video, audio, the Football Diehards podcast, myself, Kyle Dvorak, Justin Lanero, DFS articles by Kyle, Justin, myself, John Laub, great content from John Laub every week. Also, early in the week, we have all our waiver wire information. from Evan Tarciano, Kyle Dvorak, Matthew Sharon. Also, Jen Ryan's prop bet video. Don't miss that. Really translates well to fantasy. So let me race through some of these last questions so I can get out of here and get back to work. Robbie Anderson, Mostert, Jacobs, pick 2 in a standard league. I'm going to pick Mostert and Jacobs. I love Robbie Anderson too, but I'm still going Mostert and Jacobs. Hello, Steve. Mr. Information. PPR, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. DJ Chark, QT Crowder if he plays, J.K. Dobbins, T. Higgins. I'd probably take a chance on Dobbins, and I'd probably rank those receivers QT Crowder, Chark, Higgins. Hello, Ethan. This is my last day to trade. Should I trade Chubb for J-Rob? I'm keeping Chubb. They're both good backs, right? I mean, we have rest of season rankings on our website as well that shows you strength of schedule going forward. I'm trying to answer these questions quickly, so I'm not playing them. My personal preference would be Chubb because I think he's like a phenomenal back on a solid team. But, James Robinson, I don't want to give him any slack. I'm keeping Chubb. And you can check that the rest of the season ranking on the rest of the season rankings. I want to just look and see what the schedules are. Interesting. Giants, Jets, Baltimore this week. I don't know the Tennessee, Baltimore, and Chicago for the Jaguars. I'm probably standing pat there, man. Jeffrey, Josh Jacobs if he's active over Williams. And I like Williams' matchup, still Jacobs. Feature back and should have a feature role from what I'm told. Miles Sanders or J.D. McKissick may have to play floor on this one. Thinking J.D., I think with you in a PPR, safer floor. Sanders just isn't getting the snap count, right? So that's the problem. Schultz, Irv Smith, Ertz, Sample. Can't trust Hooper? No, you cannot. Waiting until Monday night. I'd probably play Schultz as the safest play there. Although Sample came on a little bit. Ethan, start Cooks, Parker, T.Y. Johnson if Gore out, or QT. If Gore's out, I'd be fine starting Ty Johnson there. Otherwise, you got to check the times. I would start whichever Houston wide receiver is active, Cooks over QT if they're both active. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I have a bunch of teams in playoffs, and I don't feel, let's see. What are some of this? I'm trying to think. I'm in a lot of leagues, right? I'm in almost 30, leagues where I have to set lineups, including Dynasty, etc. So I draw a blank when I try to think of any specific one. But there are some that I'm really that I want to fare well in. The Kings Classic leagues, which are industry leagues, where you get relegated if you don't play well. The Jake Seeley's Flex League, I'm in the playoffs there, and I want to do well. Gary Davenport's Deathmatch League, which is a huge IDP league, doing extremely well there. So, man, I'm drawing a blank, and I'm just sitting here trying to tap dance. Ask me this next week, Damian, and I will think of an answer this week. And I'll know more teams that are in playoffs. Willie, you need one for the flex. Full PPR between Connor, Tim Patrick, or Pittman. Probably playing Connor in there. And I like Tim Patrick over Pittman. Not everyone would agree. I would play Gronk over Reed. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you, man. Jeffrey Cooper, do you think Cleveland defense special teams are Bills against Denver next week? Cleveland defense or Bills against Denver next week? Whoever's playing Denver, I'm like kind of in favor of, as we got the questions tonight about Carolina. I'm not sure I understand the question, Jeffrey, to be honest with you. Yeah, I kind of, Sanders slightly greater. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. Pedro doesn't feel too. I'm going to go back to this. I don't know that I understand the question. Let me see if I can get a little context to it. Cleveland. I don't think I have Buffalo. What is their schedule? Oh, I see. So Buffalo has, so it's Pittsburgh, Denver, and New England. Hey. I guess it does say 13. I didn't notice that. I don't actually set it, so I hope we'll change it afterwards. Thank you, though, for that. I didn't notice. Yeah, I'm at a loss a little bit there, Jeffrey, on, I do like whoever's playing Denver next week. I'm starting to figure it out. Yeah, I would prefer Bills against Denver to Cleveland over the Giants, although it seems like Daniel Jones is kind of dialing in the turnovers a little bit. I don't know what the lock is. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Pedro. What about Ruggs? I'd go Ruggs over Fitz. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it does this week, actually. And if it doesn't, it should. let me just double check. No, the tool likes Ridley more. I like Casey Hayward. I don't know if it knows Casey Hayward as well as I do. So no, but I prefer Jefferson still. That's a little hunchy on my part, Jennifer. There's no doubt about it. Thank you. And thank you again for letting me know about the stream title. Perriman or Gage, PPR. I'm playing Perriman in that one. Thank you all. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Once again, subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel. Like the videos. Share them if you would. It helps the algorithm. Helps get us a little more attention. I love the attention. Except not really. And thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate it. Again, we know this time of year is really important to you. And, even as there are fewer people playing, it becomes more important to those who are, and we take it really seriously, especially on the site. So go to footballdiehards.com. If you're not familiar with us, go to the free trial, and you can check it out and see what we're all about before you buy it, because then you'll want to buy it. And when you do, use the promo code Diehards to get a 15% discount. What about using the Dallas D? Depends on your choices. I don't think they're a very good defense, but they're picking on a horrible quarterback, and I do like that. All right, everybody. I think that covers it. Hit the website. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm Bob Harris. Over and out.